Hello, and thank you for joining us for Cover Letters, a virtual program of the Allen County Public Library. My name is Ian, and I'm from WorkOne, and I'll be the host for today's program. Our co-host is Lisa, a librarian for the Allen County Public Library.
Today's program is being recorded. In order to improve the quality of everyone's listening experience, your microphones have been muted. If you have a question or comment, please use the chat function at the bottom of the screen. We will facilitate the conversation as we go, so please just drop us a line if you have any questions as we go along.
Thank you, Lisa. This program will teach cover letter basics and tips. We will keep up with questions in the chat box and open it up to full Q&A at the end of this program. Let's cover today's agenda. It's presented in partnership between the Allen County Public Library and WorkOne Northeast. We are equal opportunity, and WorkOne programs are equal opportunity programs, and we do have auxiliary aids that are available upon request to individuals with disabilities. Today, if you're viewing on a browser, there's a plus in the upper right-hand corner of your screen that you can use to expand the presentation program. That way you can view it easier. If you're on a mobile device or a cell phone, you can simply use your fingers to expand so you can view easier. Today's agenda, we're going to cover what is a cover letter? Why do I need a cover letter? Cover letter construction, cover letter tips, emailing tips, and an Indiana Career Connect cover letter. There's a handout that follows along with today's presentation that would have been emailed with you when you registered for today's cover letter workshop. Let's talk about what a cover letter is. A cover letter is an introduction to you and your resume. It highlights your key accomplishments and shows that you're a good fit for a specific job opening. It's used as a sales technique to get employers to read your resume. Essentially, a cover letter is your advertisement to get someone to read your resume. Why do you need a cover letter? Some employers actually require them. It demonstrates that you're a good fit for the company. It's your opportunity to stand out in front of everyone else. It provides additional information about your goals, the technology, the industry, and relevant certifications. So let's take a moment. How many of you have a cover letter started? How many of you have used a cover letter in the past? You can use the tools on Zoom here to raise your hand, or you could simply put a chat in the Q&A, and we'll be happy to take any kind of comments or raise your hands. And I can see a couple of you have some cover letters started. That's wonderful. And a couple of you maybe have used them in the past. Great. It's wonderful. I see quite a few hands there. So what we'll do is we'll kind of expand on that. Maybe you have a cover letter that you've used in the past or you're working on one now, and we'll see how we can improve on those and get some prospects for employment. Let's talk about cover letter construction. You want your personal contact information, the date, company contact information, the greeting, the body, the closing, signature, an enclosure or attachment. An enclosure is going to be if you're mailing your resume through the snail mail, regular old mail. An attachment is going to be if you're emailing your resume, a much more common form of sending out. Let's talk about the personal contact information. This should include your name, and we suggest using your full legal name. If you go by something else, we'll cover that later at the interview. The address, that should include at least the city and the state. A phone number, you should always include a phone number that has voicemail so they can leave a message to call back later. An email address, always ensure you use a professional email address. We recommend something like your first name, last name, @anemailprovider.com. Let's take a look at some examples of personal contact information. On the left, you could see Susan Smith, 200 East Main Street, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46802. 260-867-5309 is listed as her phone number, and her email is listed as s.smith@email.com. She has her items listed up on the left margin. So her name, her address, phone, and her email. And all this looks very professional. On the right side, she has the same information, only everything is centered in the lines. Both of those are excellent examples. If Susan were to need some more space in her cover letter, she might use an example as the bottom. And it has her name at the top, and then she has her address, phone, and email centered underneath of her name. She does have a box on this one, but the box isn't always necessary if space is a premium. You always want to keep your cover letter at one page. These are excellent examples of how to list your contact information. Let's talk about dates for a moment and some do's and don'ts. Do spell out the month and list the 4-digit year. For example, October 2, 2020. Don't abbreviate dates. Abbreviations can be different kind of formats. Examples are 10/02/20, 10.02.20, 02 space oct space 20. You don't want to abbreviate the dates. You always want to spell it out. So the proper way would be October 2, 2020. For company contact, you need to include the name and professional title. Try to find the name of the hiring manager. You have a lot of great resources to find the name of the hiring manager and company contact information, including right here at the Allen County Public Library. The company name, the company address, you do want to spell out the street, road, avenue, and court. Those names should be spelled out, but you do not need to spell out north, east, south, or west. You need the city, state, and zip code, and the country only if it's located outside the United States. And then you want to write the country in all capital letters. If you do need to find the name of the hiring manager, in addition to resources such as the Allen County Public Library, you can always look at the company website or even call the company. If the company name is suppressed, that's when you may need to look into additional resources, and you can address it to the hiring manager and not list a company name. Let's take a look at some date and company contact examples. We have October 4, 2020, John Doe, Human Resources Manager, ABC Company, 350 North 750 West, somewhere, Indiana, 12345. Below, October 4th, 2020, Jane Doe, Human Resources Manager, 123 Major Mackenzie Drive, Markham, Ontario, L3P space 3J3, Canada. The difference between the two is one on the top is located here in the United States in Indiana. On the bottom is located in Canada. So you can see the difference in the bottom example, Ontario and the zip code is different. And then since it's in Canada, Canada is in all uppercase listed below. Let's review greetings. Address your letter to a specific person. Examples are Mr. Doe, Ms. Smith, Dr. Jones. If unsure if male or female, use a name only. Examples are Jamie Doe or Casey Smith. It's not always easy to tell. Unable to locate a name? Use hiring manager or human resources manager. Don't use sir, madam, or to whom it may concern. Correct spelling and titles are important. Addressing your cover letter to a specific person shows that you took the time to learn their name and that you aren't just sending letters to every company. I want you to think about it for a moment. When you go to the mailbox each day and you see letters that are addressed to you, your own personal name, you're more apt to open the mail. But if you see other pieces of mail that's addressed to current occupant or current resident, you might be less likely to open the mail, or you might just be pitching it in the trash. Let's take a look at the body of paragraph 1. The first thing you need to do is you need to grab their attention. You want to stand out above all the other applicants. You want to state the position that you're applying for. They may have many positions that are open. Make sure you tell how you learned about the position. Companies spend a lot of money advertising for positions, so they want to make sure that they track their marketing. Give a brief explanation of why you're interested in the position. It shows that you've done your research on the company. If you're interested in working for an employer but you're not aware of any open positions, you should still send your cover letter and your resume. In this case, you should state the type of positions that you would be a great fit for. Let's take a look for a moment at an example of paragraph 1. Dear Mr. Doe, I'm delighted by the opportunity to apply for the head bookkeeper position posted on Indiana Career Connect. I believe that I have the perfect skill set for this job, and I'm excited to learn more about the position. In the body of paragraph 2, you want to make sure you promote yourself. You need to show that you understand the company's focus, mission, industry, and vision. This shows them that you've done your research. Promote yourself and describe your skills. Focus on your key skills, and if you're changing careers, this is the place to show how your skills will transfer. You don't want to review all the skills that you've listed on your resume. Focus on the one thing to get them interested so they will look at your resume. The time to shine will be once you get to your interview. Let's take a look at the body of paragraph 2. Here's a good example. During my previous role as a bookkeeper for over 6 years, I kept an overview of all financial records for the company. During my tenure there, the company experienced unparalleled success that resulted in a 20% increase in revenue over those 6 years. Paying attention to the small details is one of my keys to success in reducing expenses. So some of the big points that they pulled out here is the increase in revenue, unparalleled success, paying attention to small details. Really pops out so that you stand out above the rest. This is a great example for paragraph 2. Let's talk about the content in paragraph 3 of the body. Make sure that you thank them for the opportunity. It shows your gratitude for them taking the time to read your cover letter and consider you. Initiate contact. Let them know that you would like an interview. Now, let's take an example of paragraph 3. It would be an honor to be part of your team, and I look forward to the possibility of discussing the opportunity with you. For your closing, you want to ensure you use sincerely or respectfully. If you're mailing your cover letter, print it out and sign your name. Type your name under the signature area. Include the word enclosure if you're mailing, and use the word attachment if emailing. Let's take a look at an example. Jane Smith has typed sincerely, comma, and then she's given spaces. Typically it's 4, and then she's typed her name and then signed in between. She's enclosing this in the mail, so she's typed enclosure underneath, and then she's folded and placed it in the mail. Please ensure that you're actually signing the document with a pen and not just using the signature feature on your computer. Let's review some important tips. Describe qualities that indicate your alignment with the employer's values. Use the company website to find more information, or you can use resources at the Allen County Public Library to help you also. Include facts about the company or industry. This shows that you've done your research about the company, and find important information in news stories. Incorporate keywords and key phrases. Find keywords in the job posting or website. Avoid slang words. Create a base cover letter that you can edit for each job that you apply for, and you definitely want to modify for each position. You want to make sure that that cover letter and that resume is curtailed to the position that you are applying for. You want to use a template. There's many templates and examples that are online, and many are free. You want to always use words that you are comfortable with using. The worst thing that you could do is you can make your resume and your cover letter full of words that are wonderful and beautiful, but you're not comfortable with using them. And you find yourself at an interview and all of a sudden these words come up and you don't know the definition or you're extremely uncomfortable using them. Let's talk about a few things to remember. You want to include accomplishments that are relevant. If you do use templates, select the one that best represents you. Always check typing, spelling, punctuation, and grammar, and keep it at 1 page in length. Relevant experience may be included if the position that you're applying for aligns with past work experience. For example, you want to return to an industry that you worked for in the past. Let's say, for example, a licensed practical nurse decides to focus on teaching. So you tell a story how you've used a presentation skills to instruct a patient and their family to care for the health of the person, and you've used active listening skills and advising skills. These skills will transfer from an LPN to teaching. So that's how you would do that. There's a good example of a cover letter for this on page 11 in the handout. And this handout was emailed to you when you registered for this course. When emailing a cover letter, the subject line should indicate the position being applied for and the job order number if that's available. A cover letter can be within the body of the email, so you don't have to attach it. You do want to attach your resume. Always spell check and proofread and save a copy of your work so that you can reference it later. You can write your cover letter in Word. You can save, copy, and paste it in your email. And then be sure to review your formatting changes if you do copy and paste from Word or another word processing program such as Google Docs. You want to save it with the job title and the company name, so if you need to refer to it later, you'll be able to find it quickly under who you sent it to and the job that you applied for. Let's take a look at a good email example. This person has sent it to the example company email.com. The subject is supervisor position, job order number 123456. So the applicant had the position and the job order number. Attached, they have the file name, johndoeresume.docx. It's extremely important to name your files professionally. Just as much as having your email address be professional, it's equally important to have your files named professionally, because the hiring manager is going to know what the file name is, just as we can see here. So John Doe resume, likewise it could be John Doe cover letter, John Doe CV. In the body, they have posted their cover letter. It starts out January 2, 2020, then John Doe, Human Resources Manager, ABC Company, 350 North, 750 West, somewhere Indiana, 12345. So you can notice the address is written properly with the north and the west. Did not have to be spelled out. The directionals were fine to be abbreviated. And then the city and state listed below. We have the appropriate John Doe Human Resources Manager. They figured out who that was. And then down below, they've listed, Dear Mr. Doe, I am writing to express my interest in the customer service position posted by your company on Indeed.com. In May of 2020, I have completed my Associate of Science degree in Business Administration. Upon review of your company information, I believe that you will find my education and experience align well with your company's community focus. You've noticed in the body here that they have put some key words. They're expressing their interest in the customer service position, so they put what they're interested in and where they found it on. So we got that listed, and we also have where they found it, so they can put their marketing dollars to work. So they put Indeed.com. They also put some good highlights on there. May of 2020, they completed their Associate of Science degree in Business Administration. So they've got their keywords in here, and they've got a professional look to who they're addressing it to. The date is correct, and very important, they have the file name professionally labeled. You can also create a cover letter in Indiana Career Connect. You can create a cover using the letter builder, and options available include templates, spell check, action words. You can download it into Word or a PDF file. You can print or email. There's a guide of how to start your cover letter in Indiana Career Connect on page 9 of your handout, And again, the handout you would have received in your email when you registered for this course. There's a few sources here listed on your page that we have reviewed today and that we have used to put this presentation together. And I'm going to turn it over to Lisa for a moment, and she's going to review some other sources that we have from the library.
Thank you, Ian. That was a lot of information and a really succinct presentation. Thank you for that. Yes, I wanted to mention we have a database at the Allen County Public Library that's called A to Z, and you can find a lot of great company information there. You can find key contacts for that company, like the manager. Sometimes they have the hiring manager or other people listed. They also have, of course, the address, the revenue that that company brings in, if they have branch offices or other locations, the number of employees. So there's a lot of good information that you can find there that might not be so easily found somewhere else on the internet. So that's definitely a great resource. You can also get to that from home as well as any library location. And I wanted to mention that, of course, since we're the library, we have a lot of great printed books. This one is Brilliant Cover Letters. We have just all kinds of books on the job search process and resumes, power verbs, cover letters, interviewing, networking, all of those topics. And I also wanted to mention we have 2 vendors that we get our ebooks from. So these are things that you can download onto a phone, a tablet, your computer in any form. And there's one that's called Hoopla, one that's called Overdrive, and those are things that you can instantly download and read there. So those are a great resource. If you have any questions, you can always call that number on the screen, or you can also email us at ask, the word ask, ASK, at acpl.info, or of course, go to our website as it's listed there, acpl.info, or you can call us. And let's just see if we have any questions that anybody has that are coming into the chat here. We have someone mentioning that if you did not receive a handout, please feel free to email us. I'll try to catch anybody that registered a little bit later and send them a handout and make sure they have that.
And just email that to the ask@acpl.info, correct, Lisa?
That's correct. Yep. So if anybody has any last questions, you can go ahead and put them in our chat function there. Otherwise, I think we're about ready to wrap it up here.
You know, one of the common questions that we get asked at some of these workshops is I really have a hard time when I'm Googling finding who the name of this employer is. And I know that the library does have a great resource for finding employers and finding the name possibly of who works at that department or maybe in HR at that company. Could you maybe share a little bit about that with us, Lisa?
Sure. Probably the best place for that is that database that's called A to Z. And that's something you can get to it from our homepage, and you can get to that from any library location or also from home. If you get to it from home, it's going to ask you for your library card number. I believe that's all it asks for. It might ask for a 4-digit PIN, but once you type in the name of the company, it usually has at least the manager, and it might have other, I think it calls them key contacts, and along with other great information about the company, like revenue, number of employees, if it's woman-owned, who the competitors are locally, all kinds of information like that.
Awesome. I can't stress how important it is to do your research on even things that seem small like that are huge when you are sending a cover letter and you get to the interview. Knowing the details about the organization will get you the job. So getting those details in your cover letter is going to get you that interview, and hopefully that gets you that job. Any questions out there that we have today?
We haven't had anything come in, so.
Well, if you do, feel free to reach out to us. The staff at WorkOne Northeast Career Centers are here to help people find new or better jobs, choose careers, access training and workshops to get the information needed to succeed in today's job market. We have employment and training advisors at each center that are there to assist you at no charge. Please visit our website for location information, and you can contact us at any location and click on the Contact Us link on our website. And our website, of course, is neinworks.org.
Great. Thank you so much, Ian.
Thank you.